Well, hello, hello, hello. This is Vinny Chopra and Bo Eckstein. We come live
Hola.
to you. Oh, we didn't. Hola. There we go. Hola. We should say hola today. That's right.
Hola.
We got
Sí,
a
sí.
guest speaker, really cool guest speaker. Nico is in the house and he's got BS in the Bachelor's of Science in Business Marketing and Management and a minor in economics. He also holds a master's degree in Spanish language. That's why we are saying hola. And it's going to be great getting together with all of you here. Please let us know your name and also, where you're from, what city, state, and say hi. We love coming to you all every Friday at 9:30 Pacific. 9:30 Pacific, 12:30 Eastern. I live in the Bay Area, right here in Danville. Brother Bo is right there in Las Vegas, Henderson. And Nico, where are you located now?
Hey
Where are
guys, so I am in beautiful New York. I'm in Long Beach, New York.
all right, New York. There we go. Let me go ahead and, Bo, how is the week been, bud? How is the week
The,
been for you?
the week has been good. Just busy. The lending business is busy. Rolled out a new business that I'm excited about. And what else is new? I sold the property in Indiana. Even in the Midwest, prices have appreciated significantly on the single family and duplexes and things. So it's good. It's a good time to take some chips off the table when you have some equity and reposition equity. And then I'm expanding my office. So I'm moving from my downstairs and I'm taking my two guest rooms upstairs, knocking down the wall, putting in some recessed lighting and making a film studio. So I will never have to leave my house again.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
So
Wow.
yeah, really it's about optimizing, right? Like I just
Mhm.
was on Amazon ordering a stand-up desk because I've been sitting so much. I think we're adapting now to the new world of COVID. Now we're
Yes.
going on, what is it, 2 years? So definitely my back's been sore from sitting so much more because I don't commute anywhere anymore, right? I commute downstairs to my home office. And now I'll eventually have my bigger office. The contractors come in next weekend, so so the film studio should be up and running. I'll be able to do more podcasts, more professional lighting, and never leave
Awesome.
my house. So I'm excited about all of that. And then I just got a $20,000 business line of credit through Amazon right before I got on this, so I can.
Oh.
That's the cool thing about having different business entities, right? You can have multiple
Uh-huh.
business lines of credit with inside these LLCs. So I have a couple of different entities, and each of them have a bunch of credit. So it's good, and they're giving money away lately. They want they want to improve the economy. So I think everybody's being a little bit bullish right now, and you're getting approved for big lines of credit and things like that. So I think
So
they're
what
everybody.
interest rate, by the way, some of the listeners might like to know. This is Amazon Business Credit. It's kind of new. I didn't know that Amazon also.
They partnered with an American Express. So, that's interesting in itself. Is like the whole world of business credit. Your business actually has a credit score, right? And most people don't know that. So it has its own credit score, which the goal I believe is to get an 80 on your what they call the Paydex credit score. So eventually, your goal, if you can build up your credit profile, is that all these lines of credits and everything aren't tied to your personal social security. They're based on the strength of your business. So
Wow.
that's
Yeah.
pretty cool. Like if you learn these kind of techniques, because what I've done in the past is when I was rehabbing a lot of houses, I would use my credit cards in my personal name. And what
Mhm.
happened was my scores would go down, not because I missed payments or anything, just because I started racking up credit card. I was Home Depot, 20 grand, 15, 10
Sure.
grand, right? And then all of a sudden, like you get penalized for that. So if you do them, if you're rehabbing houses or whatever, and you want to just use credit, it's better to do it in your business credit card name. So that's the importance of getting a good credit profile, so you can go ahead and get more credit in the name of your different business entities. And that's what I do. I've been doing that for a while, but there's a whole art to it. There's a whole art to getting points. Like they'll give you cash back. I know
Mhm.
one of my friends just got a line of credit, and it's like a business credit card, and it's only in California now, but it's pretty cool. They
Mhm.
just went out and they gave him 100 grand tied to a business credit card secured against his house. So
Wow.
and they got it done in like 4 days. So there's a
Awesome.
lot of new fintech products coming out that are useful for real estate investors.
Excellent, excellent. No, you're so right. I know you were talking about the desks that go up and down, which is fabulous because we got to be moving and shaking and standing while talking. I know we were visiting our son Neil, and he bought a chair, $1,500. I said, "What? Office chair for $1,500?" So this is the kind, the mesh kind. It contours your body and it doesn't make you feel tired and things like that. Then I was looking at his keyboard, right? It's split and the keyboard is slanted. What? And then the mouse was ergonomic, mouse. So it's not flat mouse like we usually do. It's the one with the hump. I said, oh my gosh. So those things are really, really good for our health and for our posture, for our, because we are so much time we are in the chair. All right, let's go to our guest. Actually, Nico actually has been spent the past 18 years as a Spanish teacher while investing in real estate. Apart from teaching and investing in real estate, Nico is an entrepreneur, coach, mentor, and a leader. He's an avid surfer, woodworker, traveler, and extremely proud father. Nico became interested in 2012. 2012. That's almost 9 years back with a single family development project, and has now transitioned into multifamily. He's currently a GP, general partner in 194 units, valued at $10 million. He hosts a biweekly meetup group also, Multifamily Investor Network in New York. Nico also hosts his Small Axe podcast, where he interviews industry leaders in multifamily. He believes it only takes a small axe to build a lasting empire. Hey, Nico, welcome, bud. How are you?
Vinny, I am doing so good. Bo, guys, I love seeing you guys. I love hanging out with you guys. Every time it's like the energy is just phenomenal. I mean, this is what it's all about. This is why we do this, to connect with people like you. It's such an honor. So thank you guys for having me on today.
Oh, thank you. Tell us, like, maybe where is your focus now? You just started, I mean, into multifamily. What do you see with all these overpricing going on?
Oh my, it's such a big topic, but it's kind of unspoken with people like me in the newer or in the beginning phases of their journey, because we think that we're going to get a deal. We're going to land a deal. We just have to work harder. We need to put in the reps and get there, but we can't necessarily win a deal for a variety of reasons. And I'm struggling as well. And the
Mhm,
issues that we are facing now is the high competition from people that are willing to possibly pay more than I am, with
mhm,
better underwriting skills and knowing where they can pull levers more, really having those relationships solidified with the brokers and the property managers, to where that they have a little bit of an advantage over newer people like me. So
mhm,
it's a struggle at this stage, and it's okay, because
mhm.
it doesn't mean I'm ever going to quit or stop. What I do is I look for opportunities. So I look for opportunities to co-sponsor, because that's an easier way to get into some deals with some better known and well-established syndicators, let's say. And I
Mhm.
look to co-sponsor with people that already have a track record, so I can kind of leverage those people. I also
Right.
I leverage people like you, mentorship programs, coaching programs, educational platforms. I let brokers know who I'm affiliated with, aside from all the other work that I'm doing to try to
Mhm.
break into a market and compete against, I mean, people that have been doing this for 20, 30, 40 years, that it's almost impossible to compete against professionals like that.
Surely, surely. And you're right, Nico. Again, there are the beginner stage in the smaller number of units, then intermediary, and then, of course, the big, syndicators like me and others. They are in that 200, 300, 400 units range, right? That's a little bit higher, a little lower than institutional. But no, you're right. So let me ask you a question. How did you get involved? And take us back. Maybe a lot of listeners and watchers would love to get some pointers. If you had to talk about three things: how you made decision, what were your pain points, and how you arrived at multifamily. Yeah.
Excellent. I love that, Vinny. Yes. So let's talk about how I made my decision. It all starts with gratitude. I come from a family where we all love each other. I have a nice, big, loving family, but I lost my father, I lost my mother, and I lost my best friend. Within a 10-year span, I lost all of them. And it just, some people can take that the wrong way and kind of slow down or go the wrong route, but I didn't. I realized that every single day is a blessing, Vinny, and I'm just so excited for what we can accomplish in this world, right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
and that gave me a sense of gratitude and the wanting to share my love of life and sharing my love of just success and being successful with the world. So, that actually led me into teaching and actually being a mentor as a teacher, helping children. I created some really nice programs for kids that are struggling with emotional issues. I work at a camp where I teach special needs people surfing, so things like that. Just gratitude is what got me into the feeling of, look, helping people and giving back. Now, come on to some pain points. I'm not going to use the losses that I had as pain points, but some of the pain points arose when I ran into challenges with overworking myself.
Hmm.
And what happened right before I got involved in multifamily was I found myself taking on way too many physical jobs. I was working prior to my W-2 in the morning. I was working after my W-2, and I was working after that, and at nights and on weekends, and all of it was transactional, right? And I do it for the benefit of my family. I have a young daughter, and I was doing it for that reason. But my values, I realized, were askew, right? So I realized something had to change. I needed to create some sort of wealth or some sort of way of earning income that was not going to tax me physically for the rest of my life, because I would have burnt out in a few years. Hence, I found multifamily, and I got involved with you. You guys know the Jake and Gino community, and I joined their crew. And from then on, it was like just a whirlwind of information, and I really engulfed myself in learning how multifamily works, or how even real estate works in general, and how you can create income through that for yourself, for your friends or family, right? For those you love, your community, as well as your children and their children. So that's the ultimate goal. So now today, where I stand is what my ultimate goal is to be able to provide my daughter with the skills to teach her children how to live successful, grateful lives, where it doesn't have to be multifamily, it doesn't have to be real estate, but what I would like to teach her is the skills necessary to create her own existence for her, to create a life that that's going to make her feel fulfilled.
Awesome. Awesome. How old is she, by the way? How old
She's
is
going to
she?
be 6 in about a month.
I was thinking, and that's amazing. I mean, to be able to instill those kind of value systems, and as she progresses, I know sometime I've seen children in my extended family where they could talk about PE ratio at the age of 4 or 5. I can't believe it, and now they are big, big. They went to Wharton and this, and it all starts in the beginning, how we pique their interest and get them going. Bo,
Yeah.
buddy? Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, I agree. I like what Nico said. I like transparency, right? Like he's, a guy next door saying, "Hey, it's a difficult business," but he understands that not everything is easy in life, and you have to put in work, right? You're gonna have some uphill battles to get some wins, right? You're not always going to win. I think that's what I heard Nico say, which is true, because right now it is a very competitive market, and you got to look for like the hidden. If you keep on putting work in every day, you're going to find those hidden gems and those deals and the opportunities in life. And so I kind of want to ask Nico. I need some advice on learning to speak Spanish.
Yeah.
I'm now 43 years old. What's the best way for a guy like me to, where I know very little Spanish, but I do want to do it, and I want to hold myself accountable. Would you suggest getting an online tutor, or how would somebody go about learning a language later in life in the easiest manner possible? Because I would say learning a language to me hasn't been the easiest thing. I pick up other educational things quicker than the language portion. So what are the recommendations for somebody later in life learning a new language?
Yeah, so it's funny. So as a Spanish teacher for the first let's say 12 years or 13, 14 years of my career, I did it by the book, and I was sitting in front of people, giving vocabulary, talking to them in Spanish. But if it's only a 40-minute period a day, and then they're going home and they're not going to continue it, there's not going to be a full, I guess, no learning is going to occur. They can memorize things, and we can all memorize things. But I think, Bo, and unfortunately I'm going to say this, you need to immerse yourself in the language. And this is what I've done with my daughter. So I do not speak to her in English. She gets only Spanish from me. And I'm the only person in her life that speaks to her in Spanish, but there is no communication with me unless it's in Spanish. So it's a do or, I put her in like a do or die situation, where she needs that to survive. And my recommendation would be, and it doesn't have to be forever, but I would recommend, since, we have the opportunity at this point with COVID and perhaps working, not necessarily in an office, be somewhere where you can immerse yourself in the language for a few months, if you're willing to do that. You can have an online tutor to guide you and like correct things. It can kind of speed the process up a little bit, but by getting out there, by being immersed in it, by being forced to speak and being forced to make mistakes, that's where you're going to learn and grow the fastest.
Yeah, it's interesting. I brought my wife's dog over from Mexico, and the dog only understands Spanish commands. But it was amazing how fast. Yesterday, here's a point I want to make. Yesterday, I brought a trainer into the house because she hasn't been socialized, this dog, and she gets nervous when we walk her, and she's a very athletic dog, so I want to be careful with her. But the trainer, with like in just a real quick amount of time, got our dog like doing unbelievable things, like because our dog's highly intelligent. It's just, but I guess the point is like what I learned from this yesterday was whatever you want to do, whatever you want to do, you want to bring in, like, you want to get the best trainer or mentor you can. And I'm rolling this back into real estate, right? Like the point yesterday is I could have went online and like started the basic commands of, hey, sit, do this, do that. But if you just, get the right trainer, you can like speed up the learning curve of a dog like 100%. You can do the same thing with people, right? Like if I want to learn something, what it taught me yesterday, and I'm reading a good book, Vinny, and or I listened to it on Audible. It's Who Not How.
Who Not How?
Yeah,
really?
yeah. So,
Nico, you have read it too, buddy? Yeah.
Oh yes, I love that book. It's changed my life.
Dan Sullivan.
Okay. Oh wow.
Dan Sullivan. So Dan Sullivan he coaches. He's a high performance coach.
Yes.
He's been doing it for 30 or 40 years. Like people pay him hundreds of thousands of dollars. But he wrote the book. The funny thing is, the book, he wanted to write this book for years, right? But he needed the who to actually write the book for him.
Oh,
so
wow.
There's a Dr. Benjamin that actually wrote the book. And that's the funny thing about the whole story. It's like, so the point is don't figure out, it's not how to do it. It's who's going to do it with you, right? That's the key. Who's going to do it with you? And it was a very short audio book, but that was the premise of the book. So like going forward, I listened to this book in like 2 or 3 days, and going forward, it's the who, like I want to implement something. Who's going to do it? Right? Like that's how you shortcut your progress and your growth. And so I don't know. I think that's like it's super simple concept, but I overlooked it for years.
Who, not how. Yeah, I just looked at it right over there. I love it. Included in your wonderful, awesome.
You know what you could do, Bo? I mean, your wife speaks Spanish. She could be the who while you're in a foreign country, where you could bounce all of your questions off her.
Yeah, and the goal is, is eventually to just be able to take 6-8 weeks and just go to Mexico, and work remote if I want to, and really indulge in the culture, because I like that. That's kind of was my goal, is like we used to call it the flip-flop lifestyle, right? Be able to take your laptop and be, on the surfboard, although I don't surf. So Nico, you could be my Spanish tutor and my surf coach. And but that's pretty cool. I like how you give back a lot too, Nico. I think it's important to give back and really to be grateful. And I think that, sometimes we forget to be grateful, and we wake up every day on this planet, and every day, right, we lose more time on Earth, right? So we better be grateful hey, today I'm going to move the needle. I'm going to be excited. And that's why I love doing this show, is because every Friday, I at least get that kind of like positive reinforcement. Hey, like, I know Vinny, 99.9% of the time is going to be super excited, super happy. and being around people that are positive, and then bringing on guests like Nico and learning them, because everybody comes from a different background, and
So
it's interesting to see, how that background looks. So Nico, you acquired a 100+ unit building. Why don't you walk us through like how you went from not owning any big multifamilies to this first deal? It sounded like, and I think this is a nugget for anybody that's listening. And I liked what you said, that being a co-sponsor is a fast way, and that's your who, right? So I always think like, how do I fast track? Well, look, Vinny could be my who, right? I could be a co-sponsor in a deal, right? Like, that's what I have to start thinking. He's the who. I have the connections. I could raise money, but I don't have the experience that Vinny has in the syndication world. He's my who, right? So that's the way I'm just wanted to kind of transition the book, the thought process, and I like what you said, Nico. So I'm interested to find out about this deal.
Yeah, so that was this deal's in Columbus, Ohio, 194 units, and there's no way in my right mind would I have taken that on my own. It's a huge deal, So
sure.
And people tell me all the time, you can start with a 2-unit, start with a 4-unit, and yes, but I didn't. I skipped it. But thankfully, I had the proper network and the system behind me to support me. So I was, in the Jake and Gino community, just like your community, Vinny. There's a huge network of people that are trying to do what you're trying to do.
Yep.
Right. So I established myself as the go-to guy in that community for people looking for properties in Tampa. I had visited the market a few times. I had friends and family that lived there. I spoke with all the brokers. And about 6 months into my journey, I had already created a lot of good, lasting relationships.
Yep.
And when people were curious in the Jake and Gino community to find out about, investing in Tampa, they were pointed to me. So I had some really experienced guys come ask me if we can look at deals together. And, I was like, of course. So I built a relationship with a group of guys who had been active for a few years prior to me to help them break into the Tampa market. And we were looking at deals together. We offered on a number of deals, some deals that really terrified me, like 240 units and things that I was like, I think I'm out of my league here. But I leveraged them and their experience, and it was just a great experience. But after about 5-6 months of that, we still didn't have a deal, but they had found a deal through their systems and their relationships and their other network, where they found a deal in Columbus, Ohio. So they, surprisingly, I didn't expect this, but they invited me to join them on the deal. And I was hesitant at first, a little bit concerned of whether or not I could help them out, whether or not I could take on the responsibility, and whether or not I was ready. But they were like, Nico, we will help you. And I can't believe this. And this goes back to just being so grateful for everything that's happened to me in my life. These people are just willing to help. And the support system that I have underneath me has really, really propelled my success. And that's what it was. They just helped me through the process. They've been so, just willing to kind of guide me and kind of teach me along the way, that I owe everything to them,
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Yeah. And here I am today, still making offers, still trying to do things on my own. And I'm struggling, just like you guys are saying. Some of the markets are so competitive, but thankfully through networking again and having great communications with great people, I was offered another opportunity yesterday to co-sponsor on another deal. And this is a 506C. So this one is accredited only, and we can advertise for it. So I'm just so excited to be involved with so many wonderful people.
Awesome.
So Nico had success. It wasn't easy. It sounds like he was, but what I heard is like he was putting in the work, right? Like he was calling brokers. He was doing everything you're supposed to do. And a lot of people get frustrated and they quit, their dream. Their dream is to become an investor and have passive income and so forth eventually. But a lot of people won't do what Nico did, right? Like make calls and like network, and that's what gets the deals done, right? Because you probably looked at hundreds of properties before you were able to get this deal, and you went from not even being like a single family real estate investor. You jumped in and co-sponsored 194 units, your first deal, right?
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool story on how, and I think it all goes back to your network and your mentors.
Yeah, and you're right. The work is there. It's real. So I've sent plenty of gifts. I've actually created custom woodworking for some of these brokers, some property managers, just so they'll keep me in mind. Like when they look on their desk, they're going to see something that I made them by hand, you know.
Oh, wow. Wow. So you made them by, oh, so these are some gifts that remind them of you, Nico. That's awesome. Awesome. So let me ask you a question. Are you looking into like some special emerging markets or like two or three of them or and so on? And are you looking into partnering with some other people within the community or just the same that got you going? Hmm?
So what I'm doing now is I tried to do everything on my own. And obviously that got me, you know, there's no way to compete with people who have a 30, 40-year track record established with a solid team in place. So I decided to build a new team. So I have a team now that is, we're still focusing on Tampa. We're still focusing on another market in Ohio. But I'm also now, what I did was I started fresh and I created a brand new team in Birmingham. So I chose Birmingham for a few reasons. You know, it's not the most popular market. It's not Huntsville, right? It's not, but it's a large market, and I found a very, very solid boots on the ground partner there. And I interviewed a few different boots on the ground partners in different markets that I liked, but I really liked the passion and the resolve that this guy had. So I created a team with a boots on the ground partner there who's got all the relationships with the brokers. I created a team with a partner who does all my underwriting for me, and then I pass it to him and then it comes back to me. I created a group that's got a direct to seller guy who specializes that in the past 10 years. And I created another team member of mine is my integrator. If you know the book from Gino Wickman, Traction. So I'm the visionary. He's the integrator. He gets everything done that needs to happen. And we are really, it's only been a couple of months, but we're really gaining traction now at this point.
That's awesome. Do you guys meet like once a week, like certain hours? And what are the responsibilities or job descriptions? Are you also doing it like if there are 5 people in the deal, then you got, 20% general partnership? Or if you have more clout of the net worth, somebody's getting higher percentage or anything you want to share with the audience? Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, we do split up roles and responsibilities, and I'm leading the calls. I create a little agenda for we have a weekly meeting. I created an agenda and I try to stick to it as good as possible. And I always start with trying to make sure that I realize, I listen to them. I listen to what they're feeling, what they're excited about, how their family is, because that's really important to me too. We can never focus 100% and be at our best if our family is not okay and if we're not comfortable. So I make sure that they're okay and they're not overwhelmed. And then we go into our successes for the week or what we can work on. And my responsibility is really leading the group. And now I'm taking on the role of being the team marketer, where I'm going to be putting my face out there more. I'm going to do a podcast tour. I'm rebranding everything on the back end of things and creating a more powerful and robust email system. My partner Luis underwrites every single thing that I get, and he will, and we've worked together so long that he knows exactly what we're looking for. It goes through him and then comes back to us if he likes it. My partner Shane, if I say, look, hey Shane, I have 3 calls from brokers today, I need you to take them, he'll take them. He's like my right-hand man. It's just so powerful. And then we have Jake, who's our direct-to-seller guy, and he's doing texting campaigns, cold call campaigns. He has a landing page and he's got emails going out. So he's tackling it from every angle. And then Grant Poirier is the beast on the team, and he is right in the mix of it. He's born and raised in Birmingham, went to school there, works there. He takes brokers out to lunch almost every other day, and he's got all the connections and things worked in. So it's so phenomenal to work with people that have like a similar drive as me, as well as similar values, where we all love our family. We want to create a better life and existence for those around us. Awesome. I think it's, we always say it's not a solo support, right? Commercial investing and money raising and the whole thing and the management of the asset, everything, it's a team effort. And that's what you are really able to put together. I applaud you on that. That's awesome. I know it's towards the end. We are going to be kind of wrapping up. Any books or apps you want to share with the audience? Some books that you read and also some apps that's really helping in your business. So I've read this book a couple of times, and I'm actually revisiting it now. It's called The One Thing. I'm sure plenty of people have heard
Yeah,
of it.
one
And
thing.
and I needed to refocus because, again, only a week ago I started taking on too many jobs, and I said I need to focus and get clear on the one thing that I need to do right now. Vinny, I've read your book. I love your book, and I've.
Thank
It's
you.
it's funny, if people have not, it's such a clear and concise way to understand how to get into multifamily syndication. So thank you for sharing your book.
Thank you.
One of my favorite all-time books is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective
Oh, mine too. Yes, Stephen Covey, Stephen R.
People.
Covey.
Stephen
Yeah,
Covey, love it,
amazing.
love it.
I know
And
he came
also,
with another book, Eighth Habit. I know this was Seven Habits. Then I remember many years back, I bought that book also, Eighth Habit, which is a fabulous book also. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, love it. And also the growth mindset, which I'm instilling now with my students and my
Yeah.
daughter. I really love that book too by Carol Dweck. And
Carolyn, yeah.
Yeah.
and
Excellent, excellent. No, I think this is fabulous. Any kind of ideas on the apps? Do you guys use Google Drive or Dropbox and active campaigns, things like that, or what?
yeah, so I use Active Campaign. I have it integrated with Zapier through Zoom so that when people sign up for my meetups, they get an automatic opt-in form to see if they want to opt in. And I also use it now somewhat as a CRM to where I can kind of separate and segment different lists of people and as far as what their interests are, and it's been a game changer because I switched over from Mailchimp to Active Campaign only a couple months ago. And we use Zapier, like I said, or Zapier, or whatever it's called, to
Yeah,
also
Zapier.
integrate Zoom. But as well, I use it for posting because I do a lot of social media posting on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn, and I just zap them back and forth. So kind of save some
I
time.
like that. I don't know, Bo, have we dug into it? The Zapier, I've heard about it, but
Yeah, Zapier is kind of like an integration kind of platform where you can integrate, and it helps you integrate different apps together. It really is automation. Like there's these little like low hanging fruit like things that you find. Like since I deal with people's, they come to me for loans. It's like I kept on doing the same things over and over again. It became very tedious. And I'm like, well, how can I just streamline this process? People need to upload secure documents to me. So the other day, I found Pipefile, and it's the easiest secure uploading app I've ever found. And
wow.
I can basically set up a template. So if somebody is buying like a multifamily and it's a bridge loan, I can put their email in, it goes to them, it gives them the checklist items, it sends them reminders, right? So that's like my goal now is like everything that's a tedious task should be automated. Like,
Yeah.
like I use woodpecker.co, which is a cold email system. And you like if somebody opens it, they get another message. If somebody doesn't open it, they get a different message. And you put all these sequences in, right? So you're doing like you put it in once, and you're doing all this work, and that's the name of the game. Is like, how can I set up an SOP, standard operating procedure, and then every of these new contacts goes into this drip system, and I don't have to think about it again until somebody reacts to an email or a message. And
It's phenomenal.
So that's what I'm doing with my business. Is similar to you, Nick.
Excellent. I know there was another one, Send Fox or something, right, for newsletters. What was that?
I use that. Yeah,
Huh?
I use that too. So when I do my personal podcast, it like automatically pulls like the most recent and it sends out to my list, so they know like they'll get the latest podcast. It's on autopilot, right? So
What's the name of that one? What's the name?
SendFox.
Yeah, Send Fox. I thought that's what it was.
Yeah. And then there's a lot of tools out there. AppSumo is a great place to go.
Oh, AppSumo. A lot of people told me many years back. So yeah.
AppSumo, they do breakdowns of new apps, and then they give you specials. Like I just bought a new CRM. It was a one-time lifetime fee for $289. So I'm changing, like if I don't have to pay $50 a month and I can pay $289, and it's got all that, and you can integrate with Zapier and do all that stuff. So I think, even though I'm in the lending business, I consider myself an agency, media agency, right? That's what we really are. We're all agencies, media agencies. We want, like, if you're a syndicator, you want to stay in front of your investors. You want to stay in front of your brokers.
Right.
So we're media agencies first and foremost. Whatever you do in any kind of sales type of role or business development, I think Gary Vaynerchuk said it. We're media agencies. So I think that's critical.
Sure, sure. No, that's very exciting. Thank you, Nico, so much to have, to be on the show. It's fabulous. And let's see here, good day, Indy, Ohio, and everybody who joined us. I know Restream, we have gone from another channel to this one, but it doesn't show us everybody who's watching us at the same time and they cannot interact. But no, thank you so much for coming on the show. Appreciate you. How can people reach you? Yeah.
Yeah, so the best way to reach me would be to go to my website. It's
Yes.
smallacecommunities.com. So small-axe, A-X-E,
Yes.
communities.com.
Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. No, thank you so much, Nico, for joining tonight today. And thank you guys, everybody watching. Please like us, comment, and let us know some other guests. If you are a guest, you'd like to be on our show, please reach out to us, to Bo or myself, Vinny, or John Rusin. And we'll see you next week. I'll be actually in Cancun, so I'll be doing it from there, Bo. Yeah, we are going there for 10 days vacation with the family.
Practice,
So it's going to be
practice,
fun. I'll meet you
practice
all.
that
Yeah.
Espanol.
Yes.
Cervezo, por favor.
Thank you. Thank you so
Bye,
much.
guys. Thank you.
Bye bye. Bye bye.